any given time, there are around 100,000 people living in a Genesis home. Our Genesis began in 1965 when the Paddington Churches Housing Association was formed.
In the Paddington area, as a response to the appalling situation where families on low incomes couldn't find anywhere decent to live. There was an extreme shortage of rented housing. For the people who were in it, they found the conditions were appalling. The first family who we rehoused for PCHA had 6 children and they were living in 2 rooms. There was no legal security. There was no protection from rapacious landlords. So they could actually put your furniture out on the street while you were out, and there was no comeback.
With its very first lease in March 1966, the PCHA was on its way. With conditions no better in Essex than in London, just 2 years later, Springboard Housing Association came into being.
I managed to get involved with Ted Finch in starting Springboard. For instance, in Southend, 250 new units. And then other than that, the sheltered housing was now on. It was the thing. It was a great idea.
Even in those early days, housing associations had the capability of changing lives for the better.
When PCHA changed into Genesis, there was a big, tremendous change, and quite a lot of things have improved as a result of that. You can get through to Genesis on the phone a lot better than you could do. You don't wait so long before a reply. Resident forums are popping up all over the place, and tenants have got a bigger opportunity of having their say by going to these forums. Because the tenants are involved in what's happening, they can hold people to account. The resident involvement team are very good at involving you in all sorts of things, and it's a fantastic team that makes you feel part of an organisation that is very big but also very small because it's caring. The scrutiny panel has recently done a lot of work on service charges and how that's been a big problem and what caused it and how it can be resolved. That's just one more example of tenants scrutinising what's happening in their lives in a bigger organisation.
Both housing associations went from strength to strength. They had problems to overcome, but they continued to grow, with a particular focus on the elderly, the homeless, single-parent families, and those with special needs. By the turn of the century, PCHA was managing more than 21,000 homes and Springboard nearly 6,000. A year later, the formation of the Genesis Housing Group brought together PCHA, Sutherland, and West Hampstead Housing Associations. Within a few years, there was a further expansion in terms of services provided with Eastwood Trust and geographical reach with St Matthew's Housing. It then made sense to amalgamate all these organisations and all of their expertise into one, the dynamic, forward-looking Genesis Housing Association of today, with over 33,000 homes and over 100,000 tenants.
It's great that we're celebrating 50 years of Genesis today. We should also celebrate the achievements of our successor organisations, the creative, innovative, groundbreaking work undertaken by Paddington Churches, Springboard and West Hampstead, or Pathmeads as they became known. But life moves on and the challenges get harder to meet. There's a housing crisis out there. We needed to do something to make sure that Genesis was as effective and as efficient as it possibly could be. Going through the amalgamation 3 years ago means we're in a much stronger position to do that. It also means we're in a position to release the potential of our staff in a way that we couldn't before because people were hidebound by structures, processes, systems that were relating to the past rather than the future. So great to celebrate 50 years, but let's look forward to the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years as well.
The programme was devised to transform our organisation with a new leadership team, a new organisational structure, new ways of working, new processes for how we build relationships with customers, and smarter procurement. The results have been outstanding, and the momentum from the programme has continued. New offices, new people, new systems. So as we start our next half-century, we're in a strong position, working in 88 local authority areas. We've also provided services for some 4,500 care and support customers.
What Genesis kind of done is they've got most of their buildings is in a centre zone. So tenants or their workers, we have easy access to either library, shopping centres for work, libraries for researchers, and sometimes they have their individual skill training and that as well, so they're pretty flexible. They're really good at being a good landlord. They care for their buildings. I've been with them for longer than 9 to 10 years, so I mean they're really quick on their repairs. They care about if their tenants are being annoyed, if there's any nuisance going on. They care about our safety, and so they're really good landlords, like exceptionally good.
But we can and will do much more, such as improving customer satisfaction and the well-being of communities we serve, because customer service is at the centre of all we do. Investing in at least 5,000 new homes, having engaged and high-performing staff. That's Genesis, being a part of groundbreaking initiatives, adapting to changing needs, enhancing communities' quality of life, and the best is yet to come.